was a lot. Can we just be honest about that? As much as we wanted 2021 to be a reset of this new decade that we're in, it was a challenge.
I'll do the best I can with what I got.
I remember last year, 2020, when everyone was like, 2021 is gonna be our year. That was me. And in some ways it was my year. I accomplished things that I did not expect. And there were other points of the year where I was just lost in the sauce. Hey loved ones, this is Marissa and I'm back this week with a new video. And as you can see from the title, this week we are doing a 2021 recap. So there are about 32 days left in the year. And this is the perfect time of year where I do my recap of what went well this year for me, what didn't go well this year. I like to do a review of my goals, my intentions, just to set myself up for success for the next year. This is likely going to be a two-part video. So the first part in this video is essentially regarding 2021, just recapping, going through my journal, my intentions from last year, looking at what happened this year, what worked, what were my failures, and any themes. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing this deep dive into the year, I like to pull out patterns like, okay, maybe there's a pattern of something that worked, maybe there was a pattern of something that was holding me back, a limitation, a fear, that I can reflect on, and that will help me craft goals and intentions for my next video, which will be focused on 2022. What are my goals and my intentions and what I want to bring into next year? So the first thing that I do when I'm doing a recap around this time of year is go back to what I wrote down last year and what were my goals. So this is where I wrote down my 2021 goals. And as you can see from the start, I used this, like, what is it called? Mind mapping, like this bubble where you like put 2021 in the middle. Then you know, in orange, I have certain categories. So when I first looked at my mind map for 2021, the first thing I thought was, girl, you were all over the place.
But I mean every word. I mean every word.
Like, do you see this? Like, even though like it seems simplified at the beginning, I'm like, okay, the main things are in orange. It's a lot on this paper. There's so much. You know, even the categories, you know, the categories that I'm going to be using for my 2021 will be different. You know, what I'll say, if you're using this strategy of mind mapping, make sure the bubbles are aligned with your values. So what I valued, you know, the main things I valued according to this last year was, you know, make sure I'm making time for fun, personal stuff, creative outlet, community, and my energy business. You know, with me being pregnant this year, there is definitely going to be a stronger focus for me when I'm doing this on family, career. You know, I don't necessarily have career here. That would basically go in the energy business, but because I only had energy business and not like an overall career bubble, you know, growing my career and making sure that I had items and goals and intentions that set me up for financial success in my career, which is one of the things that is going to be on my 2022 planning. So the strategy I used last year was like, you know, I'm just gonna write down the main things that are important to me. And from there, I'm just gonna write down a bunch of ideas. And as you can see, there's a lot of ideas here. but the focus wasn't there. It needed to be a bit more simplified. Because while I did grow my energy business in some ways, I, did more. I did throughout the year. I definitely did group sessions. I did get some clients, and I did do corporate wellness offerings. One of the highlights of my year, which is I'll share a little bit, was getting like a Nike partnership for my community wellness work. But
Let's see this. This is cool.
when you're doing these reflections, I encourage you to do so with a critical eye. Because, from the start, I can see ways in which I could have put more focus. If I would have focused maybe on one aspect of my energy business first, maybe just the corporate wellness part, I think I would have gotten a little bit farther in building more consistency and holding myself accountable for things. Because I had a lot of different focuses, what I ended up doing was I would work on one thing and then I would jump to the other thing. I would work on the corporate wellness thing, and then suddenly I would work on the one-on-one thing. And then I would, do a training. And then I would get into ancestor work and studying, which, that's fine. Those are all on my planning sheet. But, what I've learned about this year is that, and what I want to take into next year is that I want to focus on 1 to 2 things. So the more time you put into something, the more experience you're going to get, the more you'll learn about what's working and what's not, and the more you'll have opportunity to grow that business, grow that project. And that's what I want to do for next year. I really want to, like I said, I think the main thing that came from this deep dive of what my planning was for 2021 is just to simplify. Not feel like I need to fill up a whole page of all ideas and all these notes, because when you have a lot of ideas like this, it's hard to focus. There's so many, like, where do I even start? Loved ones, that is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed this very messy review of my 2021. I will be releasing my next video, which will be a lot more organized and focused on how I will be setting my 2022 intentions and goals. I'm still going to use that mind map. I really enjoy that, but we're going to make sure it is a lot more focused, a lot more simplified. So if you enjoyed this video and my content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this content. Share with any friends and folks who may get something out of it. Otherwise, I will see you next week, loved ones. Be well.